wood. Really cool stuff at the Northern Trust Open. So why are we showing you this, folks? Well, the Hickory golf tournaments are starting this week. The Society of Hickory Golfers have a couple of events tomorrow at Temple Terrace, which is over at Fort McNeil in the Tampa area, United States Professional Amateur Hickory Golf Championships. And then later in the week at the Mission Inn Resort, just north of us here in Orlando, an International Cup, a Ryder Cup style of competition where we're going to see Hickory, we're going to see +4s, we're going to see cool old guys like my friend Tad Moore right here, longtime golf club designer. Tad, thank you so much for coming in to join us. Before we get started on the Hickory, I'm very grateful to Tad because back in the day he made a lot of the putters that I competed with. I still got them around the house and I think about you a lot. But thank you for coming in. And Tad, you're actually making these Hickories, and they're absolutely beautiful. We got a whole bag full over here we're going to get to in a second, but they're almost too pretty to hit. But Tad, tell me about the manufacturing process. I mean, these clubs were built in the 1920s. Are you making them in a similar fashion now?
Well, Charlie, we make them exactly the same way, except like all golf clubs today, we're restricted on the head, the metal head, and it comes as a casting compared to a forging in the old days. But we get our wood from Tennessee, pretty close to where it all came from, yeah. And it starts out, of course, in squares. It ends up in a 44-inch round dowel. And then using the old Odie Crispin Company turning lathe, we make the shaft, and we get the profile. And then that's just the beginning of making a shaft. I'd say to make a shaft today, it's hours.
Yeah,
it takes us to do it.
Now this hickory shaft would have been from the trunk of a hickory tree, correct?
Well, they say it's from the best of it is from the second cut.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how long the first cut would be, say 10 feet, but then the next 10 feet is where the best wood is from, the tightest grain, best density, that sort of thing.
Back in the day, in following the writings of Bobby Jones, he always talked about how hard it was to find a full set of hickory shafts that sort of matched up. Is that sort of the case today? Do you find when you're manufacturing these today?
It's exactly the same thing. It takes us hours to make them. We do it utilizing both the old Kenneth Smith deflection board that was invented back, I think, in the 20s, up to today's modern frequency machine. So we go through the whole cycle. He didn't have that back in those days, but
yeah.
The one thing he did have was J. Victor East, and J. Victor East was my link through knowledge that he printed as to how to make a shaft, because 12 years ago there was nobody making these kind of shafts, so we had to learn how to do it.
Well, I got to jump in and hit one. This is a Massey Niblet, Tad, which is basically
kitchen wedge.
Kitchen wedge?
Okay. For that, yeah.
So what am I going to notice? Am I going to notice that it's going to maybe torque a little bit more, the flex?
Charlie, I don't think you're going to feel torque as such. People think they will, but I don't think you do. I think you find that we can generate the same kind of stiffness. So it's just that you're going to have a much more dampened feel.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a heavier club so you can feel it more in your swing. So you can, a lot of people are teaching using hickory clubs because people can feel it in their swing more.
I tell you what, it felt good. Let me grab another one over here, Tad. Hang tight for us. The driving iron. When I look at the driving iron,
wow.
Check
the
this.
Butter knife.
I mean, that really is a butter knife right there. Now, that's equivalent to a 1-iron, I'm assuming?
Well, today it would be probably like a 2-iron.
A 2-iron?
Yeah.
Let me see what this one feels like.
Yeah.
By the way, Tad asked me for my specs before he brought these in. These are 2 degrees up. Oh, my goodness, that looks small. Let's see what we can get. It's hard to hold back talent. How about that one right there?
Not bad.
Wow, I love that. Felt so good, Tad. Okay, before we let you go, this is the thing that to me is the most striking. A current generation driver.
Yep.
Tremendous amount of technology. Look at the persimmon with Hickory. This club isn't even one of the biggest. It's 430 cc's. What would the volume of this head be?
180 cc's, maybe wow. 190.
Look at the difference in the club face. So much technology helping you hit the golf ball better.
The other thing, too, is in this club, the weight is higher in the head because it's wood. So there's a lot of mass higher in the head. So that's why we have to make the heads with a little more loft than the old players because the old ball spun more.
Yeah.
And the new ball doesn't. So.
Well, Ted, would you mind holding that one?
No.
And I got to hit this one. I'm going to tee it down low. I actually grew up playing persimmon. A lot of the current players on tour, I'm sure they've never even hit it. I talked to Sergio Garcia one time. He said he'd never hit persimmon. So let's see what we got here. That's pretty hot. That's going to roll out a long ways right there, Tad. I love the feel of this hickory. Really cool stuff. Okay, thank you for coming in. We look forward to seeing the scores in the Hickory Golf Society Championships this week. Okay, we've been talking old clubs. We're going to tell you how to break in new clubs when we return right here on Morning Drive. Really? I got to hit some more. Wow, that's